So this week, I am going to pull you a card, us a card for the collective, and a card for you nonetheless. If you're listening to this, then it is a card for you. And I'm pulling it from the Shaman's Dream. And we'll see what comes up, what messages there are, and then see what other channeled messages come through from the card. Are you ready? Covenant, sacred contract. Number 7. Covenant, sacred contract. Let's see what it says. You are being invited now by the universe to enter a sacred contract. The covenant card may also be called to recognize what an ancient agreement you made with spirit needs to be renewed or canceled or torn up. This is an opportunity showing up right now that is full of promise, but you are unable to sign and seal the deal to commit to it. The reason is that it needs to be elevated to a sacred covenant. Sorry, I'm saying the wrong word. A covenant must be founded on truth, not your truth or his truth or her truth, but a greater truth that takes the destiny of all into account. The covenant is not about your agenda only. Spirit must be invited to come to the table as a guarantee of the good faith of all, and to ensure that the direction you are embarking in will be for the greater good. It is important to understand what you are signing up for. Be sure to read the fine print so as to not to commit something you will soon regret or that will compromise your integrity. Do not hesitate to put all of your own cards on the table so that your motives and desires are transparent and nothing is left in the darkness. When shadow elements remain hidden in the darkness, the covenant breaks down and becomes a contract with an unspoken dark side that is inevitably filled. So this is a very interesting card. This is about sacred contracts. So as a soul, and I mean, we make contracts all the time, in conscious contracts all the time, lawyers, rental agreements, all kinds of things that we sign. We sign contracts with credit card companies. We're always creating contracts, but our soul creates contracts as well. And when we come into this world, we are often bringing in old contracts. Some people have poverty contracts, like contracts to stay in poverty. Some people have slavery contracts to stay enslaved, not necessarily like traditional slavery, but slavery of the mind, slavery of a certain economic status, that kind of thing. There's contracts with people. Marriages are contract, and sometimes you come into this life and you have old marriage contracts that haven't been dissolved. So contracts are a big part of who we are. And here's what this card is saying, that it might be time to start a new contract. There's something that might be brewing in you, something that you want to create, something that you want to do. And it is the time of the spiritual warrior. And as the time of the spiritual warrior, astrologically, we are entering this. It is about taking action on your contracts. You may have a gift or a creative something to give to people. You might be a hidden healer. You might be so many of these things, and maybe it's time to renew or activate the contract to help other people. Regardless, whatever it is, most importantly, it is time to dissolve the contracts that no longer work and that may be getting in the way. And some of these contracts can be sneaky. They may be not sneaky, but hidden, covert, that kind of thing. So now the big question is, I'm sure you're asking yourself, how do I dissolve these contracts? And then how do I activate the contracts? So one way that you can dissolve the contract is to go into meditation. And especially if you know exactly what it is. Now, if you're in a relationship with someone that you just don't want to be in a relationship anymore, or you're in a relationship with money that you don't want to be in anymore, or with your career, there might be a contract. You go in, ask your guides, sit in meditation, and dissolve and burn any contracts that no longer serve you across time and space. So it's like thinking this: you close your eyes, maybe put some music on, light a candle. I dissolve all contracts related to money that no longer serve me across time or space. I'm using money as an example. I dissolve all old marriages across time and space that no longer serve me, that are affecting my well-being today. Like if you're one of those people that haven't found a relationship yet and you've been looking, there may be old contracts that you have from another marriage in another lifetime that says you will never marry another. And that contract, the soul takes those contracts seriously. So maybe you need to go back in time in your mind with that contract, or find someone who can support you with it, a seasoned hypnotherapist or someone who knows how to do regression therapy, to go back and find that contract and burn it so that you can find the love of your life in this life. These contracts are they can bind you for lifetimes, and we don't even know that they're there. We don't even know that they're there. You might even have a contract with a darker entity that you don't even know, right? That creates jealousy. Like there's so many ways that we have bound in contracts that we don't even know. So you can start, if you're like, I don't even know if I have any contracts, you can start with a blanket mantra, a blanket intention, a blanket decree, and say, I dissolve all contracts across time and space that are no longer serving me. Work on it. See what happens. See what uplifts. Sometimes if you have like, you get depression or anxiety or things that, you're like, God, it's here again. The depression's here again. The anxiety is here again. There might be an old contract. There might be an old contract or something that's holding you back from the past. So we are a continual soul, right? It's like, we're in this body now. This body's going to go at some point, and then I'm going to start a new one. And so are you. It may not be a human body, but it'll be a body somewhere. But humans, many of us have been human many, many times, and those contracts will follow us if we don't dissolve them. Great card. Really, really great card, especially, and there are, we can go deeper with this. There are soul contracts, group contracts, like even with political parties, right? Let's say you said, I am contracted to be, I'm making this up, like a Democrat for the rest of my life. So there may have been somewhere in your life where maybe you were in the political system and you vowed to be a part of this, or maybe you were with a certain teacher and you vowed, this happened to me, I vowed never to make any more money than my teacher. That was part of a contract I made with her, both physically in this life and in a past life. It was literally done. And so I had to go in there and dissolve it so that I can make my own money and create my own things and not keep her on a pedestal. So it can get really fascinating. So I hope this helps you. And it is a really, really great way to release things, especially if you're stuck or you want to create something new. And the last thing I'll end with, if you're like, I don't know if I have any stuck contracts, but I want to create a new contract of creativity, or a new contract with myself to be a healer that makes a good salary, makes good money, and helps a lot of people, create it. Sit in meditation, create the contract that you want to create, and activate it with your guides of higher light, your master teachers, and your angels. And remember that God and the divine are always there, especially if we align. Well, it's always there, but you work with guides of the light, you're working directly with God as well. All right, my name is Beth Osmer, and I will see you on the next video.